It's got kind of a beat to it, though, Waldo. Listen.
Company, that's it. It's a new sound. Here, put on that wig. You are now my singing sensation, Baby Hoop.
At this very moment, all over the world, giants of industry are negotiating deals involving vast sums of money. This, my friends, is called commerce.
So you see, JB, buying Amalgamated Steel for $13 billion would allow you to make more safety pins than any of your competitors.
It's a deal, DJ. Do you have a pin?
Here you are.
Not pen, pin.
And this vast world of commerce also includes the little village of Foggy Bog, Wisconsin, where at this moment another negotiation is going on.
So you see, JB, your purchase... I told you before, I don't want any Wigglesworth Indian Guide election. Now get out of here.
Gee, Professor, he's got what they call sales resistance.
There is no such thing as sales resistance, Wilberforce.
Fillmore.
Hmm?
I keep telling you, my name is Fillmore. Fillmore Bear.
Of course it is. Now, where was I?
There's no such thing as...
Sales resistance. Right, Egbert. If there's something to sell, there's someone to buy it. Remember when I had to unload those 40,000 refrigerators?
Yeah, Professor.
Well, there's not an Eskimo in the Arctic whose igloo isn't equipped with the Wigglesworth Wonderlust.
Yeah. Imagine, Professor, all them Eskimos sitting around waiting for their refrigerators to defrost.
Yes, but lately, Alfredo, I just don't have the same get up and go.
Maybe you're getting old.
Oh, nonsense. It's just that peddling from door to door doesn't offer enough incentive for a creative person such as I. I was destined for a nobler profession in life, Father. I must go onward and upward.
Okay, let's go, Professor.
I can't. Something keeps holding me back.
The memories of long ago?
No, my foot is caught in this door. You see, Albrecht, ever since I was a small boy, I knew I was destined for bigger things than Wigglesworth Indian Guide. My mother used to tell me, Waldo, hitch your wagon to a star. And by George, this may be it. It's coming. I can see it.
Hooray!
Did you have to do that? No, I've lost it.
Jay, I'm sorry, Professor. Was it as big as a bread box?
Wait! Coming back again.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it...
Will you stop already? This is probably the most magnificent idea I've had in my entire life. Now, where can I find her?
Find who, Professor?
I'm not going to tell you, Wenceslas. You'll just blow that stupid bugle again.
No, please, Professor. I promise I won't blow it again.
All right. Do you remember Baby Jane McConkey?
The famous child movie star? Oh, I've seen all her pictures. Say, whatever happened to...
Well, Wensenham, the world is ready for another Baby Jane McConkey, and I, Waldo Wigglesworth, am going to discover her.
Gee, Professor, that's real exciting.
You'll blow that bugle again.
Professor, where are you going to find a little girl who can be a movie star?
Well, that's a good question. In a town like Foggy Bog with a population of 617 senior citizens, where in the world am I going to find my Baby Jane?
Hi, fellas. Long time no see.
Osmond, there she is!
She?
Oh, come on, Waldo.
Property! Have you ever considered having the world at your feet? Fame, fortune, your own swimming pool?
But, Professor, I have everything I I could ever want right here in Foggy Bog, Wisconsin. Did you say swimming pool?
Yes, Hoppity, and much more. Candlelight dinners, African hounds. Hoppity Hooper, I am going to make you a star.
Heated swimming pool?
Yes, my boy, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. You can grow orchids in it.
Is there any way in the world that Professor Waldo Wigglesworth can make Hoppity Hooper into a little girl movie star? Be sure to watch the next one of these things. Whatever happened to Baby Hooper?
Once upon a time, there was a young farm lad who lived on a farm, which, of course, is where farm lads usually live. He was a happy boy, and he loved the country.
I love you, country.
He loved the cows.
I love you, cows.
He loved the trees.
I love you, trees.
And he loved to go barefoot and feel the mud squish up between his toes.
I love you, mud, squishing up between my toes.
But most of all, he loved Hilda, a beautiful honey-haired girl whose father was a wealthy merchant.
Now I've come to ask your permission to marry the fair, honey-haired Hilda. I await your answer, sir.
The answer was not long in coming.
Out!
Oh, the boy was heartbroken and certain that he had lost his true love forever. But Hilda, who had grown quite fond of the lad, had a plan.
Father doesn't like you because you're just a country pumpkin.
That bumpkin.
But if you could become rich, do something impossible, and prove your bravery, I'm certain he would give his consent.
Willing to do anything for the hand of Hilda, the lad quickly set off to the nearby city, where it so happened that the king, while taking his morning stroll through the marketplace, was set upon and bitten by a chicken.
Ouch!
Oh, the king sentenced the chicken to life in prison. Fortunately, the young farm lad chanced to pass the prison that very afternoon. As he did, the chicken reached out through the bars and...
A rock tied to a note.
Of course, it was little more than hen scratches.
I am a magic chicken. Help me escape, and I will grant you 3 wishes.
This was indeed a stroke of luck, and he wasted no time digging into the prison wall to free the chicken. In no time at all, he was inside. Then, by placing the chicken on his head and fluffing him up, he was able to walk out past the guard who thought he was an Indian.
Hello, Chief.
How, Kimosabe?
Moments later, they were safe deep in the woods.
You've done well. Now I shall reward you. What are the 3 wishes you wish to wish?
Well, first, I wish I was rich.
Oh, my, I get a lot of requests for that one. So be it.
The chicken took the lad to a large stream where she instructed him to swim to the deepest part and return with 3 shiny stones from the bottom. In the boy jumped, sank like a rock to the bottom, and snatched up 3 shiny stones.
I got them. Are they diamonds, rubies, or something like that?
No, they're just shiny stones. You can throw them away now. You're rich.
How come I'm rich?
Simple. I just bet this woodsman that I could find somebody nutty enough to dive into that cold water and bring up 3 shiny rocks.
You win, chicken. Here's my golden axe.
The golden axe did indeed make him rich, and off he ran to show Hilda.
Wonderful. You've completed the first task. But can you do something impossible?
Oh, it's easy. I'll do that now.
And I'll put the axe in the bank in my name.
Hurrying back to the chicken, the young lad made his second wish.
I wish to do something impossible.
Going to the highest cliff in the kingdom, the chicken said one word.
Jump!
The lad said one word.
Geronimo!
And did.
I say, what's the big idea? I thought I was going to do something impossible.
You did. You just jumped off a 700-foot cliff and lived. By the way, we won another gold axe.
Quickly returning to Hilda.
Now all I have to do is something brave and we can be wed.
Yes, once more, going to the chicken, he made his third and final wish.
Something brave? All righty.
And with a wave of her wing...
Hey, what's the idea of turning me into a chicken?
Because you're going to get a lock of ogre hair.
Well, fine. What's the idea of turning me into a chicken?
Snipping a lock of hair off an ogre would be a mighty brave deed, right?
Right. What's the idea of turning me into a chicken?
The ogre would be suspicious if he saw a young lad enter his castle with a pair of scissors, wouldn't he?
Sure, and eat him up. But why a chicken?
But if a chicken entered the ogre's castle with a pair of scissors...
It suddenly became quite clear. Not even an ogre could be suspicious of a chicken. Off he raced for the ogre's castle and bravely went inside.
Whom goes there? Whom?
A chicken with a pair of scissors. You suspicious?
short time later, the ogre sat down for his evening meal, and when he lifted the lid off of his serving platter, out sprang the chicken, snipped off a lock of his hair, and sped away.
That's the first time a chicken ever gave me a haircut. But I'm still not suspicious.
His 3 tasks accomplished, all that remained was to have the magic chicken change him back into a lad. Unfortunately, the chicken, having granted the 3 wishes, had flown the coop and was nowhere to be found. The clock in the steeple was striking 5. His time was up, and there was nothing to do but return to Hilda as he was.
Don't let the feathers fool you, Hilda. It's me. I've got a lock of ogre hair, and that proves I'm brave.
Ogre hair or not, you failed. We cannot marry, for you're not brave. Farewell forever.
Alas, it was true. He had failed. For as everybody knows, it's impossible to be brave if you're chicken. And the poor lad lived as a dumb cluck ever.
Drink up your milk, Chairman.
I can't, Mr. Peabody. I'm racing my push cart in an hour.
But what has that got to do with milk?
Well, I don't like to drink when I drive.
I'll tell you what, you drink your milk and I'll give you an experience in driving.
It's a deal.
I wiped off Sherman's mustache and then set the way back and forth for the state of Indiana in the year 1910.
Who are we going to meet, Mr. Peabody?
The man who won the first Indianapolis auto race, Barnaby Victor. We entered the Wayback and arrived at the Speedway as the race was about to get underway. 2 ancient vehicles stood idling at the starting line.
Which car belongs to Barnaby Victor, Mr. Peabody?
The one without wheels, Sherman.
Mr. Victor, don't you know your car hasn't got wheels?
That's all right, Sonny. It doesn't have any gas either.
And sure enough, his machine fell silent.
How do you expect to win the race?
I don't. Not with carbon dioxide running against me.
Carbon dioxide was Spain's most famous racer, a man who would stop at nothing to win a race.
Buenos dias, senor loser.
Golly, Mr. Peabody, you said Barnaby Victor would win this race.
And so he shall, Sherman. We must put tires on the car and refill the gas tank.
But there's no time. The starter's ready to wave the flag.
Well, I took care of that by switching flags. Instead of the usual one, he waved a flag bearing the words, "Hooray for Cornwallis." The police arrested him as a radical, and the track sent out for another starter. Even though the delay was slight, it enabled us to complete our tasks.
All set to go, Mr. Victor.
He was all set to go, all right, but in the wrong direction. You go that way, Barnaby.
Are you sure?
Trust me, won't you? The flag was dropped, and the 2 cars sped off on the first of 500 laps. Barnaby Victor opened up an early lead, one that lasted exactly 1 lap.
He's coming into the pit, Mr. Peabody.
Forget something, Barnaby?
Sure did. I forgot the ignition key. I had it a minute ago.
You mean the key that starts the car?
That's the one.
But, Mr. Victor, you started your car. It's running now.
Is that the key in the ignition hole there?
Oh, yeah, there it is. Thanks for finding it for me.
You sure he's going to win, Mr. Peabody?
Instead of answering, I focused a pair of field glasses on the track. Carbon dioxide had not only gone into the lead, he was making preparations not to lose it.
What's carbon dioxide up to now?
He pulled his car to a stop and painted a view of the Grand Canyon on a retaining wall on the far turn, and then he took off.
He must be crazy.
Like a fox. When Barnaby Victor saw the picture of the Grand Canyon, he thought he was at a drive-in movie and shut his motor off.
Oh, he'll lose for sure now.
No, he won't. I grabbed a bucket of paint, dashed to the wall, and splashed it against it. In black letters came the words, "The End." Barnaby assumed the show was over and resumed racing. Soon he had not only caught up, but was out in front.
Now if he can only hold the lead.
But he didn't. Dioxide turned on a siren, put on a policeman's uniform, and forced Barnaby to stop. He then gave him a ticket for speeding. By the time we got there, Dioxide had resumed racing.
Get going, Mr. Victor.
Can't, Sonny.
Why not?
That officer took my license away.
There was no time to argue. The race was almost over. Quick, Sherman, pretend you're feeling faint.
Huh?
A fainting spell. Have one.
Oh, I feel dizzy.
Quick, we must get this poor boy to a hospital.
But I don't have a license.
You don't need one. We got into the car and roared off.
Which way to the hospital?
Just keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Even with his foot down to the floorboards, Victor's car was not gaining on dioxide. It was then I noticed the speedometer only went as high as 50. So I simply broke the glass and pushed the needle. Naturally, the car went faster. As we went into the last lap, we forged ahead.
Mr. Peabody, our gas tank, it reads empty.
And that wasn't our only concern. Carbon dioxide had lit a stick of TNT and threw it into our auto.
Put it out, Mr. Peabody.
Ah, but instead of doing so, I let it fly in back of us. The explosion occurred just as we ran completely out of gas, but the shock wave picked us up and thrust us across the finish line, victorious. Barnaby Victor had won the race, and carbon dioxide was banned from racing.
Did Mr. Victor ever race again?
No, Sherman. As soon as he crossed the finish line, he headed for a gold mine he owned in the hills and was never seen again.
How come?
Well, look, Sherman, the road only goes one way.
And he never came out of that hole in the ground?
That's right. Sherman, you are now looking at a one-track mine.
Well, here we go, kid. Back to the land of situation comedy.
As you will remember, in our last episode, Professor Waldo Wigglesworth promised to make Hoppity Hooper a star. Hoppity was a little reticent at first, but when the professor mentioned
your very own swimming pool, my boy,
Hoppity was starstruck.
What do I have to do, Professor?
Well, first of all, we need a long blonde wig.
A long blonde wig?
Naturally, my boy. How else can you appear in my box office smash?
What box office smash?
Son of Baby Jane.
Professor?
Yes, Egbert?
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
But, Professor, I want to be myself. Gee, I can dance and sing, and I can do terrific bird calls. Listen.
That was a bird call?
Sure, that was a Baltimore Oriole.
Sounded more like an Arizona horned toad.
It's got kind of a beat to it, though, Waldo. Listen.
Hoppity, that's it. It's a new sound. Here, put on that wig. You are now my singing sensation, Baby Hooper.
And so, almost overnight, Baby Hooper was the new croak and roll sensation.
Come on, all you folk, yeah, yeah. Come and do the croak, yeah, yeah. Hold your breath and thump your chest, and that's the way they croak, yeah, yeah.
Teenagers all over the nation picked up the new sound almost immediately. Hoppity's croak swept the nation.
Now, Leon, tell the class where is the capital of the United States?
D.C., teacher.
That's right, Leon. D.C. is correct.
Pardon me, buddy, but could you spare it for a cup of coffee? I'm sorry, but I don't have a on me.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you elect me to office, I promise to put an end to, and furthermore will increase, and you will have air in every pot.
You may not agree with what he has to say, but you have to admire his... Come on, all you folk, yeah, yeah. Come and do the croak, yeah, yeah. Hold your breath and thump your chest, and that's the way to croak, yeah, yeah.
Do you realize, Fillmore, that we have made the entire nation Baby Hooper conscious? Our fame and fortune is made. All we have to do is sit back and exploit Hoppity Hooper.
Here comes Hoppity, no.
Oh, what's the matter, Hoppity? You look a little depressed.
I want to be loved.
Loved, but Hoppity, the entire country loves you. You're getting more fan mail than Lassie.
But it's not me they love.
Well, who then, Hoppity?
It's my... I'm nothing but a new sound.
Life is but a sound, Hoppity. A poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Well, can I get rid of this blonde wig?
The wig? The wig that's part of your image, Hoppity. That wig is a symbol. What do thousands of people do when they see that gorgeous blonde wig?
They go.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it, Fillmore, how people become affected by a fad? First the twist, then the mashed potato, and now the croak. Well, old friend, I'm certainly glad that we have the intelligence not to be affected. Fillmore? Fillmore? Not you, too. Why, this is the most...
Don't tell me that you're affected by my image, Waldo.
Shut up, boy, and hand me that wig.
Will Waldo get back his voice? Has the whole world gone? Tune in next time and see, pardon me, but your image is showing. Or turn in your wig, Waldo. I'd know you anywhere.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all, Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, America! Today's mental fire drill comes under the heading of How to be a Cowpuncher Without Getting Hit Back. The simplest way of learning how to punch cows is to join a cattle drive. The person who does the hiring is called a five-man, which is a four-man who got promoted.
You with the built-in chaps. It's beddy by time for cattle. You stand guard. You got gun?
Sure, right here.
Tell me, why you got hot water bottle on gun?
It's a sick shooter.
Not feeling good, huh? Does it shoot?
Does it shoot?
Now look what you done. Cattle are stampeding.
Never fear, I shall stop them.
How do you stop 5,000 fear-crazed beasts?
By holding up 5 fear-crazed fingers and saying, whoa!
That's very good. How do you get them started again?
Oh, by saying, giddy-up. After serving his apprenticeship, the full-fledged cowboy now puts his knowledge to use by joining a rodeo, or radio, they're both correct.
And the winner of the Bronco busting event is Mr. Know-It-All.
Golly, Mr. Know-It-All, you sure can ride.
Yeah, you're only supposed to stay on 10 seconds. I've been on this critter 10 hours.
How do you manage to stay on him so long?
Very simple. I got a pocket full of dimes.
In our last episode, if you will recall, everyone was doing the croak.
Come on, all you folk. Yeah, yeah. Come and do the croak. Yeah, yeah. Hold your breath and thump your chest, and that's the way to croak. Yeah, yeah.
Even Waldo was doing it.
Come on, all you folk. Yeah, yeah. Come and do the croak. Yeah, yeah. Hold your breath and thump your chest, and that's the way to croak. Yeah, yeah.
The whole world had gone croaky. The only one who kept his wits about him was Hoppity Hooper.
Waldo Wigglesworth, you have created a monster. Waldo Wigglesworth, I'll never croak again. Waldo.
Hoppity, realizing that Waldo Wigglesworth was beyond reasoning, sprung off in search of a cure for the whole croaky situation.
Come on, all you folk. Yeah, yeah. Come and do the croak. Yeah, yeah. Hold your breath and thump your chest, and that's the way to croak. Yeah, yeah.
Honey, we don't do that anymore. I mean, baby, the croak is out.
The croak is out?
I mean, you are something else, sweetie. The croak went out with the chili bowl habit. There's a whole new sound called the boing.
The boing?
Boing, boing, boing.
What did she say?
She said boing. Boing?
Boing, boing, boing.
Boing, boing, boing.
Come and do the boing. It's not hard to learn. You grab your goil and take a twirl, and then you do the boing. Boing, boing, boing.
And sure enough, the croak was out, and the boing was in. Everybody was doing the boing.
Come and do the boing. It's not hard to loin. You grab your goil and take a twirl, and then you do the boing. Boing, boing, boing.
Then I can go go back to my own sweet, lovable image. Just plain Hooper. Poor Waldo Wigglesworth.
Did you say Waldo Wigglesworth? Where is he? Boing to me.
Well...
Oh, come on, take me to him.
But...
I just knew he was near. His magnetism is drawing me to him.
But we're going the wrong way. Professor Waldo is over there.
Oh, Hoppity, my boy. I know this is going to break your heart, but... Confound it, Fillmore. I'm having a hard enough time bringing this to Hoppity without your interference.
But, Waldo...
You see, Hoppity, the public is very fickle. Though I don't know how to tell him, Fillmore, I hate to see a grown frog cry. Well, Hoppity, you know, 1 minute it's the croak, and the next... Oh, you tell him, Fillmore, I just can't seem to do it.
And the next minute, it's the...
Boing.
Why, you did that rather well, Fillmore.
But I didn't do it, Professor.
Oh, my, oh, my. Susan Swivelhips, don't tell me you're the boing girl.
But who else, sweetie? Do you remember the last time we saw each other, Waldo?
Well, I can explain that, my dear.
You left me waiting at the altar.
But the sheriff was coming. We had to get out of there.
Not only did you leave me at the altar, but you left me holding a hot bottle of Wigglesworth Indian elixir. Waldo! Waldo! Boing. Boing.
Why in heaven's name did you have to blow that confounded bugle?
Because you were standing on my foot.
Will Waldo free himself from Susan Swivelhips, the boing girl? Will Waldo get off Fillmore's foot? Will Hoppity become just another teenage croak? You'll see all this and more in our next episode, Laugh and the World Laughs With You, Croak and You Croak Alone. Or, a boing in the hand is worth two in the bush.
A very long time ago in a far-off land to the east, there lived a very rich and powerful sultan. Every year, on his birthday, the people flocked to his palace with gifts. Now, as it happened, a young rug salesman from another land who did not know of this custom chanced to come into the town that day in hopes of selling his rug. As he passed the palace, it was naturally thought that he was just another peasant bearing a gift to the sultan and was quickly hustled inside.
Ah, what have we here? A rug. Oh, nice.
But being a second-hand rug, it had a hole in it, and when the sultan saw this, he was furious.
By the beard of my mother-in-law, how dare you bring me a rug with a hole into it?
Well, it's a small hole, Booby. It's a little teeny one. But if it bothers you, I can let you have it for half price. What do you say?
At this, the sultan flew into such a rage that he was unable to speak. This unfortunate circumstance had placed the young man's life in serious danger, and realizing his mistake...
What a really nice highness you are. You certainly can't take a joke.
Joke?
Well, of course, Booby. As a gift, this is much more than just a small rug with a large hole in it. You knew that all the time, of course.
I did?
Yes, of course you did.
Oh, yeah, I did. Of course. What is it?
Get this, Big Daddy. It's a flying carpet.
Say, this is the finest gift I've ever received. And you know, I'm so pleased that I'm going to reward you handsomely. But first, I'm going to fly my carpet.
The young lad, of course, knew that the old rug would not fly, but before he could stop him, the sultan ran to the highest wall of the palace, sat on the rug, and pushed himself over the side.
So, treacherous one, a flying carpet, eh?
The unfortunate lad was quickly seized and thrown into the palace dungeon. It was that afternoon that the Sultan's beautiful daughter, while picking flowers in the garden, happened to look in through the bars of cell 32 and saw the young man.
My, what a handsome you are. What are you in for?
A very short time, sweetie. Tomorrow I get beheaded, like Chop, you know. Because I didn't bring your father a flying carpet.
If I help you escape, you could find the flying carpet and make Daddy happy so we could be married. Am I rushing things?
I thought you'd never ask, baby. What's the fiendish plan?
Wasting no time, the princess hurried to the royal kitchen where she baked a cake with a pick in it. Taking it to the waiting lad, he was able to eat the cake and dig himself out of the dungeon in less than an hour. Running into the city, he entered the first rug shop he saw.
Quick, Yasha, give me a flying carpet.
What color?
How about blue?
I got no blue ones.
All right, give me a red one.
No, we got no red ones either. In fact, we don't have any flying carpets at all.
Why didn't you say so?
You didn't ask me. How about a throw rug?
The lad went to every rug shop he could find. He found one carpet that could crawl, two that could bounce, another that could swim, but not a single one that could fly. Finally, in a last desperate effort, he went to a fortune teller.
I gaze into my crystal ball.
You do that.
I see that you will meet a tall, dark stranger with an axe.
That I already know. But can you tell me, please, where can I find the flying carpet?
What color?
Never mind what color. Just one that flies like Skysville.
Here, try this one.
Okay. Up, up, and away. Fly, carpet, fly.
But alas, nothing happened.
What are you, a spy from Hanna-Barbera? This thing won't fly.
Of course not. You don't believe in that magic jazz, do you? We've got to put a little something in it to make it fly.
Something like what?
Like this.
So saying, the fortune teller held forth a large jar of buzzing bees.
Bumbling bees?
Of course. Just sew them into the lining of the carpet, and when they fly, the carpet will fly. Simple.
The lad was not too sure, but he had no choice, for his time was running out. Taking the carpet and the jar of bees, he raced back to the palace and returned to his cell. There, he spent the rest of the night sewing bees into the lining of the carpet. And when he was taken before the Sultan...
Father, wait! You cannot doom him!
You want to bet?
But he now has a flying carpet that will really fly with you. You do, don't you?
I certainly hope so, baby.
Let me see.
Hoping for the best, the lad released the carpet. When the bees flew, so did the carpet. Upon seeing this, the Sultan was so delighted that he immediately gave the lad his freedom. The young man and the princess were soon married and, of course, lived happily ever after. The Sultan flew on his carpet every day, and even though the bees in the lining stung him time and time again, he was happy too.
Oh! Ouch! Oh! Like ow!
After all, the carpet was a gift, and even the Sultan knew that the bee's stings in life are free. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Peabody here, and I'll be with you as soon as Sherman completes his geography lesson. One last question, Chairman. See this spot on the globe?
That's China, Mr. Peabody.
Correct. Now tell me, what is a China clipper?
A barber.
It would seem you need a little brushing up. Therefore, today's historical destination will be China.
Oh, boy, while we're there, I can learn how to play chopsticks.
Oh, you need a lot of brushing up, my boy. Wasting no further time, I set the Wayback Machine for the year 214 BC, and the place, the borderline of China proper and Mongolia. In less time than it takes to chop a bowl of suey, we found ourselves standing in the center of the bleak wastelands of Mongolia.
What are we going to do here?
We are going to witness the building of the Great Wall of China.
Well, who's going to build it? I don't see anyone.
True, there wasn't a soul in sight. However, 5 minutes later, the place was swarming with ferocious-looking Mongols, led by the legendary Fungus Khan.
Now, hear this, you guys. We ravage Mongolia until there's nothing left to ravage. Now, we gonna extend same courtesy to China. Also!
Also! With that, they spurred their horses toward the border.
Is there anything we can do to stop them?
There certainly is. Knowing Mongolia like the back of my paw, we were able to take a shortcut and cross the border into China well ahead of the oncoming horde.
Look, Mr. Peabody, there's a house.
It belonged to a wealthy merchant named Chop Suey Louie, who had made a fortune exporting chow mein.
What is all this jazz about oncoming horde?
It's true, Mr. Louis. The Mongols are going to ravage China.
Well, live and let live. So long as they don't bother me, I don't care.
Yes, but the route they're taking happens to come right through this house.
I don't believe it.
Now do you believe it, Mr. Louis?
That's the 10:15 for Moscow. It's running late as usual.
Well, if it was, it left the conductor behind.
You better take it on land, Buster. We coming through here every day. Adios.
I guess you believe us now, huh, Mr. Louis?
But Louis was no longer with us. A quick search of the building turned him up in the basement, packing enough fortune cookies to last at least a year.
What are you doing, Mr. Louis?
I'm getting out while getting is good.
I can only surmise that Fungus Khan has intimidated you.
No, but he got me plenty scared.
Sure enough, his queue had turned snow white, which is a delightful fairy tale, I might add.
Don't let him bluff you, Mr. Louis. Be firm. Stop him from coming through your house.
That was all the incentive Louis needed. The following morning, after laboring at the borderline for 5 hours, he joined us over a steaming bowl of bird's nest soup.
That takes care of Fungus Khan.
Gee, Mr. Peabody, I'll bet he built the Great Wall of China.
Knowing that only I could construct the Great Wall in the short time of 5 hours, we ran to the window and saw that my suspicions were correct.
No trespassing. Will that stop them, Mr. Peabody?
The next question was quickly answered, for at that very moment...
Stand back. Louis gonna vamoose.
He can't go, Mr. Peabody. Isn't he supposed to build the Great Wall?
Great Wall? What is a Great Wall?
It's the one thing that will keep the Mongols out of China.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna build it.
Being a man of considerable means, he hurried to the nearest rock shop.
I want 1,200 million pieces of rocks.
You want that to go?
No, I'm gonna eat it here, smarty.
His next stop was a cement shop directly across the street.
Give me 44 million bag of cement.
You want that gift lot? Dashing to the borderline, he threw himself into his work. At dawn the following day, Sherman and I ascended a hill overlooking the Mongol plains, and there, thundering their way toward the border, were Fungus Khan and his men.
Marvelous horsemanship, Mr. Peabody.
Yes, but when they see that wall, I suddenly recalled that we hadn't seen the wall, and when we did...
Oh, my gosh, he built it straight up into the air.
Obviously, this would never stop the Mongols. All they had to do was ride around it. I had to act and act fast.
Well, that's a pretty great wall, huh?
Stand aside, Louis. There's no time to lose. A rapid analysis of the formation enabled me to locate the all-important keystone. Just as the Mongols poured over the hill, I deftly plucked the keystone out and... The structure toppled to earth, forming a great wall 1,500 miles long. As for the Mongols, they experienced their own version of a Wall Street crash.
Well, it's all done, Mr. Peabody. But why is Chop Suey Louie planting acorns on top of it?
Well, obviously, Sherman, he hopes someday to raise walnuts.
In our last episode, Waldo Wigglesworth ran into an old girlfriend, Susan Swivelhips, who he had left waiting at the altar with a hot bottle of Wigglesworth's Indian elixir. She had now become famous as the...
Boing girl.
What was that for, Fillmore?
You were standing on my foot.
Well, I'll get off your foot just as soon as the boing girl releases my collar.
And I will let go of your collar just as soon as we're married.
Married? Me? I'm not the type. I'm more of a wolf, you might say. A foxy wolf.
But, Waldo, don't you want someone waiting for you when you get home in the evenings?
Well, I've already got Dinsmore here.
Someone to set you in your easy chair. Someone to take your shoes off.
Those aren't shoes. That's me.
Even read the comic strips to you.
But Susan, at heart, I'm just a rolling stone.
And Waldo slipped out of Susan's grasp and dashed away. Fortunately, Susan had thought to tie a rope around his ankle.
He's right, Susan. He's a rolling stone.
Finally, the boing girl made Waldo promise to meet her at the chapel in 2 hours.
How time flies.
Hey, we're all packed, Professor.
Packed?
Yeah, to catch the eastbound freight out of town.
No, Fillmore, I'm tired of running, tired of being hunted like an animal.
Then you're gonna marry up with Susan Swivelhip?
No, I'm going to think my way out of this predicament.
Gracious! Goodness gracious, Professor. Whatever did happen with your head there?
I don't quite know, Fillmore. I think I've blown a fuse.
AC or DC?
I shall try again. No, Fillmore, it's no use. My brain is dead. Like a battery, it needs recharging.
Don't worry, Professor. I'll have your head recharged in a minute.
Turn it off, Fillmore!
To fully charge, turn on current all the way for 1/2 hour.
Turn it off, Fillmore!
You're lucky, Waldo. You ain't got no dead cells. Gee, Professor, it's good to see you back to your old self again.
Beep, beep. Turn it off, Fillmore! Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, there you are, Waldo. Come on, we'll be late. We can't keep the preacher waiting.
Beep, beep.
Say, you really must be nervous. You look positively blue. Red. Yellow and green.
Turn it off, Fillmore!
I heard the happy news, Waldo, and I want to be the first to congratulate.
Turn it off, Fillmore! Hold on there.
The Professor! He's himself again!
Susan Swivelhips, Hoppity Hooper, do you know what you've got? A gold mine? A veritable gold mine? Hoppity, what do you do?
I croak.
And you, Susan, what do you do?
I boing.
And that's it! A croak and boing-a-nanny.
A croak and a boing-a-nanny.
A croak and a boing-a-nanny?
Certainly, you've heard of a hoot-nanny. Well, look what they've accomplished with just a hoot. We've got a croak and a boing.
So Professor Waldo Wigglesworth's Croak and Boing-a-Nanny became an overnight sensation in every college in the country.
Hush your croak, little darling.
Hush your boing, oh my dear. Hush your croak, boing, little darling, 'cause your daddy is here.
Didn't I tell you I was a star maker?
Yeah, Professor. You sure did.
Turn it off, Fillmore!
And now for a word to the not-so-wise, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge seekers. Today's subject is how to train your doggy for fun and profit. To train a doggy, you need two things. A trainer, that's me, and a doggy. A small doggy. That's better. The first thing to do is to make friends with the doggy. Take his little paw in yours and shake hands just like he was... Next, the doggy should be trained to come when you call. Come here, boy. Come on. Other boy, come here. Come here. Here, maybe? Here? All right, you doggone dog, stay there. See, it just takes a firm hand and a... where'd it... Oop! But the most important thing is to let the doggy know just who is the master. Look into his eyes and say, you will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg.
Gee, are you all right, Bullwinkle?
Sure, Rocky.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're certainly welcome.
Well, folks, it's...
Hoppity, haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. our next show. You better notify the police.
What for? He didn't do nothing.
They'll help us find him.
Oh, yeah.
And Fillmore and Hoppity started back across the lot. But as they drew near the truck...
Oop!
Come on, Fillmore.
I don't think I'd better.
How come?
On account of something has got me by the ankle. And I think I... Oh!
Well, now we'll never know what Fillmore thought, for when Hoppity hopped to the hole...
It's empty. Gee, this is awful. What am I gonna do?